One of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight boxing can make right now, Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney. Is it going down? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. As we all know, or if some of you don't, these guys have been going back and forth on social media. A lot of talks. Everybody wants to see this fight after Devin Haney's destruction over 140-pound champ Regis Prograis. The only name being thrown around for next for Devin Haney has been Gervonta Tank Davis. And Gervonta has entertained it a little bit, saying that he would be willing to fight Devin. But of course, it's going to be under certain circumstances that we are going to be talking about in today's video. But of course, let me know what you guys think. Is this fight going down? Do you think we are going to see this big time fight anytime in the near future or at all? But let's get into it. So after Devin Haney's total destruction over Regis Prograis, he tweets out, "I'm top 3 pound for pound, whether they like it or not." And of course, that's when people started commenting, replying, talking about Tank. You got to fight Tank. You got to beat Tank. So he puts out another tweet saying, "Tank is P-word. He's scared to death of me. He always say he want to fight when I have a fight lined up already. Well, now I'm free. Let's make it happen." So of course, when Devin tweets this out, people are saying, all right, what weight class are you going to fight at? Because as we all know, Gervonta Davis is a much smaller guy. So he's going to lean probably more wanting to fight to be somewhere closer to 135. Whereas Devin, he's probably going to want it to be more around 140. As he says in this tweet here, "I've been doing that same thing for years, just killing myself to make weight. The world said I was pillow fisted and I was this and that. Now once I move up and I'm actually healthy, y'all got every excuse in the book. I will never go back to 135. Get it out of your head. I didn't beat Regis by throwing my weight around or bullying him. I beat him off skills." So Devin Haney's making it very, very clear that he will not be going below 140. And as we all seen from the past, he was killing himself. He does have a point. He was absolutely killing himself. If you see the way he was looking in those weigh-ins, he was looking like a dead man walking. And for years, people were talking about how badly he's obviously killing himself with the weight cut and how he needs to move up to 140. So I find it kind of weird now that people are telling him to go back down when those are probably the same people that were saying, "Yo, why are you weight bullying? Why don't you go up to 140? You're killing yourself." And now those people are saying, go down and fight Tank. So I could see, Devin Haney's point and where he's coming from here. But here is where things get a little bit funny because, of course, Eddie Hearn, it's a big time fight, big time money fight. Eddie Hearn wants to get it done. Of course, he wants to secure that big time fight for the zone. So he messages Gervonta Davis saying, "Let's talk." And Gervonta just replies, "No." Here's the thing with this big time fight and these two guys, man. Both of these guys, they themselves think they're the A side, rightfully so. I mean, both guys undefeated and have, been fairly dominant throughout their careers, besides, one or two hiccups here, where Gervonta, you're looking at the Isak Pitbull Cruz fight, and Devin Haney, you're looking at the Vasily Lomachenko fight. But other than that, both guys have been very, very dominant in their careers and have a lot of accolades behind their names. Gervonta Davis, a multi-weight world champion, and now so is Devin Haney. But here is the big question. Is the fight actually going to happen? These guys can go back and forth and talk about each other all we want, call each other, the P word, say he's scared of me. No, he's scared of me. We could all go back and forth and say this and that. But is the fight actually going to happen? In my opinion, I don't think either guy is scared of either guy. I know they throw that around to, maybe try to get the fans on their side or, try to entice them to take the fight under circumstances they might not normally take it under. They throw that stuff around a lot, but at the end of the day, let's be real, we're all fighters. Nobody is scared of nobody. They just want to fight under the right premises and the right contractual obligations. Both guys want to be the A side. Both guys are going to want to have the advantage when it comes to contract negotiations. And it's more than just money. And we know this because, as we all know, Gervonta Tank Davis likes to put these rehydration clauses on these guys that go in to fight him, especially these bigger guys. More notably, Ryan Garcia, and not just Ryan Garcia, but he also put a rehydration clause on Mario Barrios, which was unknown to most of the public until after the fight, because Mario Barrios just kept it more secret, whereas Ryan Garcia was much more open to it. But let's be real, Devin Haney, he's not going to do the rehydration clause. Like he literally just said in his tweet, "I didn't beat Regis by throwing my weight around or bullying him. I beat him off skills." So that means to tell me that he's saying, look, I'm not going to let you put a rehydration clause on me because I'm not using my weight to bully someone around. I'm using my skills. So I'm not going to let you dehydrate me for the fight. I'm going to hydrate how I want to hydrate so I can fight to my best ability and to my best skills. Whereas Gervonta Davis isn't going to want to budge on that because he's like, look, this guy is already way bigger than me as it is. So I'm going to put this rehydration clause on him so he can't have too much an advantage over me. Now you guys are really starting to see and learn behind the business side of boxing on why these days we don't really get all the fights we want to see. I don't think it's about money. I think, if they make this fight, both guys will make more than enough money. They would be more than happy. But I think it's all these other factors in the contracts that's what's going to prevent this fight from happening. And my honest opinion is I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't buy all the trash talk, all the back and forth. I think, to be honest, Devin Haney fighting Ryan Garcia is a little bit more realistic. Of course, I think Ryan Garcia is probably going to have to go maybe get another win under his belt. But I just think that fight is more realistic of actually happening than the Gervonta Davis fight. And I just don't believe it's going down. You know what I mean? To be honest, I'll only really believe it. I know a lot of people are kind of clickbaiting this whole situation and saying, oh, a fight is confirmed or whatever. And then they only talk about, oh, they're confirmed in negotiations. But I just don't really think it's going to happen unless it's in my face. These guys are sitting down in a press conference and they have a date down with both guys have signed a contract. Then I will believe it. But until then, I'm going to try not to get my hopes up too much on this because it's a huge fight. But let's be real, the negotiation side, I just don't see either guy wanting to budge, to give their opponent the advantage. Because let's be real, we live in a world now where you have to remain undefeated. Everyone is on protecting their records. No one wants to have a loss. But, you got both of these guys also under Floyd Mayweather. They're both trying to chase, that Floyd 51-0 record. They're trying to be one up Floyd Mayweather. So these guys don't really want to take a loss. And I think the only way a fight like this happens in the future is if we just stop putting so much weight on someone taking a loss. Like the Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis fight, for example. So many people got on Ryan for losing that fight. And it's just like, bro, just be happy that we got to see the fight we all wanted to see for years. If we are just happy and we commend these two guys for putting on the fight we want to see, then we'll see these fights more often. But when, they go on social media and see like, oh shit, if I lose a fight against a really good fighter that, is a 50-50 fight, then social media is just going to ridicule me and they're not going to be as likely or as wanting to take one of these fights. Nowadays, one loss can be so damaging to your career. Whereas before, like Manny Pacquiao, for example, he's a really good example. It didn't matter whether the guy lost. He put on such entertaining fights, such a big time fan favorite. Win or lose or draw, the guy was a big time draw in boxing and always a fan favorite, never the type that people would talk shit about. He always got his props for fighting the big fights. And that's where I think, this sport kind of lacks and why we're not getting the fights that we want to see as often. But like I said, I just don't think the fight's going to happen. But of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think it's going down? As always, I thank you all so much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.